Hey guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio. So I've had a request to do something totally different. So a friend of mine went to the beach and she picked up some different shells. So she brought me some, but she wants to make her son a nightlight out of shells. So I've got to figure out how to glue this together, which I'm going to use UV resin. But then she wants the little fairy lights to go around the top and the bottom. And then, we'll fill the inside in with sand. And so she did get me a tub of sand. She dried it out for me. These are shells from our local beaches. These are some rocks from our local beaches, so I'm going to use those. These are shells that she picked up. Then I do have my starfish, and I have some other shells and stuff over here. My biggest thing is figuring out how I am going to get, and I pulled out a little turtle that I thought maybe we could kind of, put in there somewhere. So yeah. So I guess the first thing I got to do is figure out the sizing of the lights. And I want to double them up. So I'm doing this as an experiment because she has a little box of all the things that she wants to do in her shell. She wants me to help her with it. So I was like, all right, Alicia, I need to try to figure this out first, or we're going to be sitting there all day trying to figure out, what I need to do and what step and so forth. So what I'm going to do is first when I get these undone, I'm just going to straighten them and put them in half to see what that gives us for, our length of lights. And I don't want the lights to be together. If I did it this way, all the lights would be together. I want them to be a little off. Kind of like this. So it's going to make it look like there's more lights. And before I twist them, I want to see, all right, so with this one, I'm thinking of gluing it this way. So I'm going to have this part coming in here. Kind of, like that. And that way I can figure out how to try to disguise that or whatever. So I'm gonna start it there. And I've got to pull my lights down because I am nowhere near half. All right, I think that will work. All right, so if I start it like this, so basically I'm gonna get this kind of outlined so that I know if I need to shorten them or lengthen them. All right, so that's going to go around there. Then we have to have it continuing on this piece. And what I'm going to do is trim, well, not trim, I want to try and, all right, so if I do this, the top would have a little bit more light than the bottom, which I'm fine with. All right, so let's just kind of run this again. So I figured I would just video the whole process. You know, if you guys get bored with it, you can fast forward. But this is just kind of how, like, if I'm doing something different, I try to work it out. All right, so this would be into that one. And then this is gonna be kind of like this and coming around. Okay. So now I'm gonna just twist these so that they will stay together. So we're basically braiding them. So the top section is going to have more light than the bottom. Because she wants it so it's going to be like a nightlight. Which I love this idea, and if it works out good, then I guess I'm going to be making a trip to the beach, and I'll be making some more of these. Because, you know, it's something that you can't buy. Each one is going to be a little different, you know, regardless, because everything is from nature. Okay. So I guess the first thing now we're going to have to do is get this glued in, well, UV'd in. So I'm trying to see. If I put, all right, so I think, all right, I'm going to be able to glue this, and then we'll put the wire in, because now I know exactly where it is going. So let me put some gloves on, because I'm sure I'm going to get some mess going on. And I'm going to pull out my double-sided UV light. And I'm just trying to think of... All right, so I should be able to do it like that. I'm also going to use my flashlight to kind of, you know, like get it in place. And I'm going to use the UV resin, high viscosity resin. And before I go any further, I need to clear up a mix-up between Craftor and myself. So on my giveaway, they had me pick from the 3 sizes. And I picked the 64, thinking that it was the gallon. You know, you'd get a 64 times 2. It was 32 times 2. So between the two of us, there was a mix-up. So one of my winners reached out and said, you know, hey, I only got 32. You know, I'm totally fine with it. but I wanted to let you know, which I really appreciate because I did not want to misrepresent anything. So I reached out to Craftor, and even though it was just a miscommunication between the two of us, they're going to make it right and send out another 32 ounces set. So it will be a gallon. So I did want to clear that up and let you guys know that Craftor really stepped up to the plate. They didn't have to, they did, and I am so grateful. So yeah, their customer service, guys, is really, really good. So I did want to clear that up so that, you know, everybody knows that even though it was just a miscommunication, they still did the right thing. So kudos to them. I am so, so grateful for them. All right. So now back to, oh, hang on, I got a couple of grits of sand in here. Which is not a big deal, but I don't want it to interfere with any of my bonding. All right, so that is gonna kind of go into like that little groove area there. All right, so let's just get some, like I said, this is the high viscosity, so it's thicker and it will stay in place. All right. I am going to turn my light on over there so when I pick it up, I'm not trying to turn it on. All right. And I know you guys really can't see. There we go. So I'm just trying to get that so that it kind of cures and is able to hold that in place. And then I will build up the resin because there's only like that small a bit that's kind of holding on. So now I'm trying to like build in where that gap is. So there's a thicker bond of the resin. And then I'll do that on the other side as well. So the hardest part is going to be, you know, like getting this to stay and then tacking these lights on. The rest is going to, you know, be pretty straightforward, but I was like, you know, I want to bring you guys through the whole building of this because I've never done this before. So, we'll figure this out together, you know, and that way there, if, you know, any of you guys that go to the beach and you find things, you hopefully will give you another idea to do something with. Because I would have never thought about turning him into a nightlight like this. I thought that was a brilliant idea. And normally I don't like wear gloves when I'm doing just a little bit of resin because I know I'm not going to get it on me. But because I know this was going to be kind of an issue, I figured I would put my gloves on. Plus, I'm going to need to hold the lights in place as we work our way around it. So, so that is going to be our little shell. Now it stays together. So the reason I did it this way is because, like, she has a couple of these big clams and they're attached, but they don't open much. I wanted mine to open a little bit more and to see if I could take two different shells and make it a complete clam. So that is why I chose to do it this way. All right, so now I am going to set my first part of my light. So I have it in that little groove. And I am going to, I'm going to hold that down. And we're going to put a little bit more of the resin, that UV resin. And I'm going to try and get that curing. So I will do a little bit with you, and then I'll probably put you on a little time lapse to speed it up. I mean, I know a lot of you don't mind my longer videos, but I get stressed out, you know, when I got people saying, oh, well, you should do this. And it's like, you know what? You do you, and I'll do me, I guess. And I want them to be really secured because I don't want them popping off. We're going to be putting sand and stuff around it. So even if it runs down a little bit, I'm not too concerned with that because we're going to have, you know, some sand and other things. So what I'm trying to do is get it on the shell, a little bit on the shell, and then a little bit on top of the wire. That way we're getting a nice thick coating to bond that to. Because I know when I've tried things in the past and tried to use just a little bit, it didn't work out very well. And I'm almost done, so I probably won't put you on a time lapse. You guys can just sit with me. Just trying to get that to stay down. Now, I should have probably tried these lights to make sure they work. That might have been a good thing. Okay, so we'll get this last little bit glued, and then I'm going to flip this over so that I can like continue on the top. So I'm gonna try and put that in that little, see how there's like a little indention right in here? I'm going to try and get that light to adhere in that little groove area. Come on. And then I'll just put it under this light, you know, for a few minutes and just make sure everything is cured. Because we're going to be using the resin all the way through this project. All right, so I have a little flat spot right there. So I'm going to use that as my first tack spot. Okay. So in this one, I'm going to try and go on the inside a little bit more. I figured that you know, it might give that nightlight effect. Hang on here. Oh. And that's the other thing, is you got to be careful because you don't want to break the shell. I should have been using my little light. Okay. So I want the resin on the top and the bottom. And then if we have extra lights, all right, let me, so, All right, so we're going to put the extra in the middle because I'm already seeing that I am going to have extra. So just by moving it in that extra little bit, it changed the whole amount of lights, giving us some extra. And I'll tuck that in. Once we're all done, that'll be in the middle. So this is actually going easier than I originally had anticipated. So once I get this done, then what I'll do is I'll I'll send her a picture of it and say, okay, I think I figured it out. Because the top of the shell's not going to really have anything in it. So we can put the extra lights in the top to give that extra lighting. All right, so I'm going to glue that there. I'm holding that firm with my finger to keep those wires down. Guys, I think this is going to be adorable. I really do. All right, so I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I have 2 flat spots. Oh. I guess I'll just do one at a time. I was gonna try to do both of them at the same time, but I'm not gonna try to cut any corners. I'm trying to get that light in there. And then I can tack it down after. You know, like add some more if I think it needs it. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to wear gloves. Like I have my finger on some of the resin as I'm holding it down, and I didn't want to glue my finger to the resin because I don't think that would have felt very good. Okay, so we have got our lights in. And look at... Cool. Okay. So now I'm going to start building the inside. So we're going to get some sand, and I'm going to get, oh, I don't know what I did with my little clear disposable thingy-dings. Oh, I'll get some paper cups. Next best thing. All right, so I want there to be the sand, and then I'm probably going to use a little bit of the colored UV resin to put on top of like some of the sand, so it looks like there's some water in there. So let me get a spoon. And I'm only gonna start with a little bit at a time. And I'm almost thinking, do I put the resin and then sprinkle the sand over it so it's a thin amount? Which way do I want to go? I think, well, I guess the best thing to do is do a test area. So let me just put a little bit of resin down, and we'll sprinkle some of the dirt. all the beach sand over it. Stir that in. And then we'll see if that will cure. And that way, I guess I can add some layers if I did it that way. It cured. All right, so I guess I'm gonna do that because then I can always like layer it up. So I'm gonna go right around and I'm gonna probably just do like a small section. And I'm bringing that UV resin up to that wire because I want that sand to kind of go over some of the bare wire, not maybe the lights, but the bare wire itself. And I'm gonna just kind of pat that in. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have I think I'm gonna put the sand in the resin and put it on that way and hope it cures. Because I think this is gonna take longer doing it this way. Okay, so let me just do that, and then I'll just so I'm gonna probably switch to the Bond Craftor because it's a thinner consistency. So I will get this put in. Get the edge done. That loose sand in there. And I'll get that cured, and then I'll just mix in the thinner resin. I think this is gonna be a really, really cute project when it's done. Yeah. So this is all main beach Okay. Yeah, this is definitely gonna work much better. A little bit more resin showing that I want. All right. So let's like I said, I'm bringing it up to the wire because that kind of is disguising some of that wire. And the messes are starting. All right, I'm gonna thin it out a little bit down in the back here. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'll get that cured. And then I can figure out what I want to put in here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys on a pause. I'm going to set this, I'm going to turn this on for 5 minutes and really let that get a good curing, because this light goes like out to here and out to here. So it has a bigger curing window. So I'm going to let that sit for 5 minutes, and I'm going to go grab something to drink. And then when we come back, we will start adding our fun little bits to it. And see what we can create. I am so excited. I would have never thought of this, guys. Oh, my hands are all wet. I'm trying to get my gloves off here. All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and that is all nice and cured. So this light is still going to be driving me nuts. I'm not sure what I'm doing with that yet, but all right, I'm going to stick my gloves back on. I grabbed my soda. All right, so we've got some snails. So I want to put a few snails in, and we got a little mussel. I was thinking about putting this little turtle in there. Let me see. Turn it on so we can kind of, oh, look at that. Okay, so we're going to put him, but we're going to put him once I get a little bit of blue, because I want just a little bit of blue coming up the back. So, well, maybe let me grab that blue right now, because Let's see, I've got dark blue and sky blue. I think we're gonna go with a little bit of dark blue. And I'm just gonna kind of using the tip of the bottle to kind of make it look like the water's coming in. See that? And let me cure that. Ooh, I can't get that all the way in there. All right, I'm gonna grab my little light and hopefully it has batteries in it and I don't have to put you guys on another pause because the little one will get down in there better. Oh yeah, we got some light. And then what I'll do is I'll put the whole thing, once everything is done, I'll put that back underneath for like 5 minutes. All right. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to take the cover off. Now I'm going to use a little bit of the light blue. And I'm going to cure that. All right, I'm going to shut this off for right now. And I'm just gonna come up a little further, and then we are going to we're gonna set Mr. Turtle in there, and we're gonna give that a cure. So it just kind of looks like he's just slowly coming out of the water. All right. So now we can go back to the clear. For our little shells. Now this little shell is really kind of cute, but I don't know. I think it's going to be too big for this particular piece. Let's see. I do want to add a mussel. So we'll and I want that sticking out a little bit. And okay. Well, let me get some of the I want to get a few of the little rocks in. Just to kind of, I don't know, give it some little texture in there. And we're gonna, I'm trying to hold it so you guys can see what I'm doing. See, little spot there. And I definitely want a couple of starfish. So it's going to be my little surprise so these ones here are not from our beaches. These are bought, but I wanted a few different color variations. And let's see. Put one there. One here. And one there. So we'll do 3. Ooh. And I can't find my other wet spot, so we'll cure those. Put the little baby, and I don't want them all going the same way, because at the beach, you don't find them going the same way. So I have some up, some down, a few ups and downs, yeah. And I wanted to use some of these snails, but it might, I'm gonna try it anyhow. It might be too big, but we will see. Guess that's about the smallest one that I have. Gosh, guys, this is so stinking cute. So I'm definitely going to be making some more of these for the craft fair, because I think these are gonna sell like crazy. I really do. And let's see. Let me pull out a few shark's teeth. Like we can't find shark's teeth around here. So these are definitely, you know, something more Florida area, but I just figured it would make a cute little addition to the piece. Especially since we can't find them around here. All right, I want another one. Oop. Definitely want another one over here. And then what I might do is add a little bit of green. I'll have to see how that blue looks once we got it all lit up. And this rock will work. That's a good size rock. We'll put that rock right there on that little bald spot. Now I have seaweed, but I had told her to leave it outside because it wasn't quite dry, and then it rained, and it wasn't supposed to rain. So yeah, I can't use any seaweed in this one because my seaweed is all wet. All right, definitely want another starfish. Let's do a little bit bigger one, like right there. And then we will see how this looks. I think we're done, guys. All right. So let's, oh, look. That is so stinking cute. But I definitely think we need, let's see. It is so cute. I just feel like there's something missing. Let me grab, see what I got for greens. We have an aqua blue. I don't know what the difference in this color is. So let's just try, because hopefully it's more of that watery color. Okay. And let's put a little bit on this side. All right. That is adorable. Let me just kind of, oh. No. I don't know, I feel like there's something missing, but I don't know what it is. Well, I guess we're gonna call this one done, guys. Oh, wait, I got some little baby. Let me grab a little spoon. Let's see if I can grab some of these little tiny. Yeah, that is. All right, so. Let's just put a few, like, little ones in. Come on. And that one, we're going to put right there. So I'm not putting any waves in this one. I will be doing another one with more water and some waves and like just a little beach shore. But for this one, just because I know the theme that Alicia wanted did not have like waves in it, so I want to kind of keep this one similar to what she wanted so I can show her and see if it's, you know, even close to what she was thinking. All right. So there we have it, our little seashore shell. So now, this is my only, this is what I do not like, is this piece sticking out. But for now, so what I was thinking is if I could get a piece of driftwood to set this on, then I could adhere the light, you know, to the base. I mean, I could probably glue it here, but I don't know, it takes away from it. So, you know, you can kind of like just tuck it in the back. So yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about that, but overall, I love the concept. Alrighty, so I will get you some pictures and I will bring this in my bathroom because that's my darkest room and get some pictures of it actually showing it lit up, so we can actually see the finished effect. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think and give me some other ideas that I could use, you know, this concept with. Alrighty guys, have a great day. Bye.